The UFC has dropped 3 massive fights in today, and I'm really excited for it. They dropped 3 fights, and they implied heavily a what's going to happen in UFC 300. Conor, although I don't think he's going to fight Chandler. All right, so in January, we had to fight for this one. Sean Strickland is fighting DDP, Drikus Plessis. He's not fighting Khamzat. I know what the big talk was if Khamzat was to beat Usman, it was going to be a title fight, and if Khamzat beat Costa. It didn't happen. And it's true. Khamzat, one, he's injured, so he's out for a while, but Khamzat did not earn that title shot. He fought a 170-pound fighter on a week's 10 days notice. He didn't earn that shot. And so the UFC did right. They put DDP in there. Now, you all know that Sean Strickland is a friend of mine. I like Sean. He's a good friend of mine, one of my best training partners, or was anyways. And I'm going to go out and help him train for this fight because DDP he's southpaw kind of. He changes stances, but like 4 fights ago, he's primarily southpaw. So I'm going to go out there, help him out. You know, the African Sam here with big hands like DDP. DDP gives me a feeling. Like, I don't like this feeling. He's the one middleweight I know almost nothing about. I saw him fight Whitaker. He beat Whitaker. That tells me a lot because Whitaker is incredible. He's one of the best that's ever been. And DDP beat him pretty dominantly. I knew Sean was going to beat Khamzat. Sean will beat Costa. Sean will beat Cannonier if that ever happens. I hope it doesn't happen again. But DDP, I got to rewatch some of his fights. From what I recall against his fight against Whitaker, it was just a lot of big shots from weird angles. Like, it was never a jab cross. It was always kind of out and then throw a kick loopy. And that doesn't work on Sean. I have tried that. I don't punch in bunches like you're supposed to. DDP does. He throws a few more in a row than I do, but he's also a little smaller than I am. I don't think he's going to make contact with Sean. I think he's going to spend a lot of energy trying to touch Sean. I predict Sean is going to lose round 1. DDP is going to come out real aggressive, maybe even hit Sean. Won't finish Sean. Round 2, DDP is going to come out real aggressive. Sean's going to be able to start countering. Sean's going to be able to start pushing back into him and just start landing a little bit. By round 3, DDP is going to be gassed. He's going to be tired. I'm picking Sean Strickland to win. I don't know if it'll be a finish, but I think it'll be a pretty dominant decision. And I think it'll be another fight where it's the most strikes ever landed in the title fight. I think that's this kind of fight. I think Sean is just going to outland him. But again, I don't place your bets now. I have to go and rewatch some of DDP's other fights. His Whitaker fight I got down. I loved that fight. It was a great fight. DDP deserved to win it. It was incredible. And I don't think he's going to pull it off with Sean. Sean's too good at being a defensive fighter. The next fight that's lined up. So for February, we have Volkanovski versus Tapuria. Oh my goodness. I can't believe Volkanovski is doing this. Volkanovski has made it into my top 5 greatest of all time lists. I believe I have him at number 3. Had he beaten Islam, he would have been maybe number 1. He might have beaten GSP. But took a fight short notice, got knocked out, lost a belt again. That does something to a guy. Now he's going back down. He still has his belt, his weight class belt. He didn't lose his belt. He just got knocked out. He's doing a real quick turnaround to fight in February. I mean, that's quick. And he's fighting a good fellow in Tapuria. And Tapuria has been on the rise. I mean, he is the one that is supposed to win. I personally thought there was going to be a interim belt between Holloway and Tapuria. But maybe not. People are high. The UFC has to hide people from Holloway because people not named Volkanovski lose to Max. And so Tapuria, he never fought him. I don't know how it happened. I'm actually leaning Tapuria, and I hate saying it because I love Volkanovski, but Tapuria, he's supposed to win. He's on that straight trajectory upwards, where Volkanovski is not. Volkanovski is now he is flatlined, but he's flatlined at the friggin' top. I mean, as high as you can go, that's where he is flatlining. He had a little dip now, so technically he's on the decline, but it was up a weight class. I got a bad feeling about this. I'm picking Tapuria, and I don't feel good about it. I want Volkanovski to hold that title for as long as he wants it. He's made a real believer out of me. Finally, the third fight. This fight I might be the most excited for. Sean Strickland fight. Sean's a friend of mine, so that fight is I'm rooting for my buddy. This fight against Sean O'Malley against Chito Vera. I love Chito. I do. I've been a fan of his. I know him a little bit. We've chatted in back room more than once. He's a good dude. I like him. He comes out as a tough guy, kind of gruff. He's a good dude. I really enjoy being around him. And I would love to see him win that belt. He's the one that beat O'Malley. And everybody remembers O'Malley throwing the kick, Chito, checking in and then kicking back. And Chito was winning that fight. It ended early. So, there wasn't a lot of time for him to really win. But he was winning that fight. Chito's good. I know he lost to Sandhagen? I know he lost fairly recently and doesn't deserve the shot, but Sean O'Malley is the new champion. He's the new golden boy. He is the one that's supposed to win, and I don't think he's going to. I'm betting on Chito to win this fight. I'm very excited for this fight. I keep bouncing back and forth on if I am on the sugar train or not. I want to like him, and then it turns out he did those interviews where he's a cuck or something like that, and I'm not. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the interviews I heard, it was not that. Maybe it was the exact opposite of that, which would change my opinion. But that sits with me wrong. Like, how does that happen? And I'm trying to think, can I get canceled for that word? I think that word's legal. Please don't cancel me. But he speaks well. He has the true idea of what it takes to be a successful businessman in MMA. And nobody has that. Sean O'Malley has that. Conor McGregor has that. I'm trying to think who else. That's like the list. That's like it. Those that have that special something leading out of the octagon, he's got it. His Twitch stream, he does his TikToks off. I'm so jealous of his TikTok. He doesn't put any effort into it, and he just crushes me. I put effort into my TikTok. But people enjoy knowing about him, and so I'm not going to hold that against him. But in my mind, he is the boy fighting the man, based on absolutely nothing. It's just I see a kid with clown hair and say, "Oh, he's the boy," even though it's not true. He did not beat Peter Yan. I don't care what the judges said. He did not win that fight, but he's beaten everyone else pretty easily. I think he really does have potential to be a problem for Chito. He's faster than Chito. People keep saying he hits hard. I'm not convinced he hits that hard. He's got very accurate punches. But Chito, I just deep down feel Chito is the better fighter. We'll find out. Maybe I'm wrong again. Maybe I am. But I would love to see Chito as the champion. And I'm very excited for that. That's of the three, not counting my love for the friend. That's the fight I'm most excited for. Now, UFC 300, the fight that was implied. The fight that was implied is Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. I'm here to tell you, I don't think Michael Chandler is getting in that cage. I don't think it's going to be Michael Chandler. It never made any sense to me. It really didn't. A win over Michael Chandler does nothing for Conor. It doesn't put him higher in the rankings, really. He's not in the rankings, so technically will. But it's still a tough fight. It just won't get him in title contention. Michael Chandler he's got a bad record. Now, he's only had barn burner fights against the best in the division, so I'm not holding anything against him. But it is what it is. When the fight was first announced at the beginning of TUF, I thought, oh, he's just being sacrificed to Conor because it is a fight Conor should win. It is a fight. Conor has the size, Conor has the speed, Conor has everything but the wrestling against Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler is I hate MMA intelligence, but Michael Chandler doesn't have it. Like, his game plan is go forward, block with his chin, and try and hit the guy harder. It's a terrible game plan to have. I don't think it's going to be Michael Chandler. Who I do think it might be, I really do. I think it could be Oliveira. I think Oliveira could be stepping up to fight Conor McGregor. That is my prediction. You mark this video. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think the fight makes sense. The UFC wants Conor McGregor to fight for a title so badly. But they can't just, they could. They won't just give it to him, probably. But if he beats Oliveira, that puts him in the number one contender spot because Oliveira is the number one contender. And then they build up Conor versus little Khabib too. I think that fight is going to, I don't think Chandler's ever going to step in the octagon against Conor. I think it's going to be Conor. against Oliveira. If for whatever reason I'm wrong, Chandler does get in that octagon, I think Chandler loses. And then the next fight that I see is Oliveira versus Conor. Oliveira versus Conor. I'm picking Conor again. Oliveira always gets hit. He not like Chandler does. Just Oliveira, he always gets hit, gets rocked, recovers, dominates. I think you can say what you will about Conor McGregor. You know, he's never defended a belt. He's this, he's that, he's the other thing. He's just all mouth, no substance. The dude's an intelligent fighter. If he rocks Oliveira, I think he finishes Oliveira TKO shortly after. I don't think he jumps into his guard and tries to out jiu-jitsu him. I think he kicks at his heels or stands him up and then pushes that pressure again. Conor is a very intelligent fighter. I think Conor beats Chandler. I think Conor beats Oliveira. And I think Conor gets slaughtered by Islam. I want to see Beneil Dariush fight Islam because I think Beneil wins that fight. I think he's the better grappler. I think he maybe not better wrestling, but better than everybody else's wrestling. They're also talking about Gaethje fighting. I don't know. Conor versus Gaethje, it's got potential, but again, I don't think it does enough for Conor. Conor would be taking a tough fight with no real upside. He would get the BMF belt or something. I hate that belt. I like the idea of it against Masvidal and Diaz because they deserved it. But that belt between Poirier and Gaethje made no sense at all. Nobody looks at those guys and thinks, oh, they're bad motherfucker. They needed a title belt, and that was the title. It was a good fight. They needed a title belt for a pay-per-view, and that's what came out. It was a good fight, too. But anyway, tell me in the comments, what do you think? I'm getting, and thank you guys so much for watching these videos. I am getting so close to being monetized in this. And I promise you, as soon as I am monetized, tell me in the comments who you think I'm going to win, or if I'm going to win, or if I'm going to get beat up. But when I get monetized, I'm going to fly out to Las Vegas. I'm going to spar 5 rounds against Sean Strickland. I'm going to film it all and post it on YouTube, assuming he allows me to do it. We'll at least post the highlights of him beating me up a bit. When I fight Sean, I'm going to have 2 good rounds. And he's going to have 3 really good rounds. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great night. Have a great fight card. And let's go Strickland.